O Allah, guide me among those whom thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what thou hast judged. Surely thou judgest, and none can judge against thee, and he whom thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art thou, O Lord, and exalted be thee above what they set up besides thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is thy servant and apostle. Amen.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Peace be unto you, and welcome to the Sajdah Morning Coffee Talks on the Sajdah channel. It's where we talk about life, love, and business. We have no problem with fusing the three together. How's everybody doing this morning? What are y'all sipping on? I have some regular decaf coffee. I made my own pumpkin creamer, which I'm so proud of. I made it out of almonds. So I made creamer. It took me a minute to get the creamer thing right. It's easier to make almond milk, but I got the creamer thing, I think, down. I'm getting there. And it actually tastes really good. So I made a little pumpkin flavored one. But, just trying to reduce the excess chemicals that I'm adding to my body. Y'all know I love me a good cup of chai, love me a good cup of coffee, but I like cream in it. And I don't I don't really do dairy. So, or a lot of dairy. I do butter, but not a lot of dairy. And so I was like, let me make my own thing. So I've been working on my almond creamer, and I think I got it. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be making big batches of this for Sajdah House. We'll have to teach the process and the recipe to somebody. It ain't that hard though. I'm a little sleepy this morning because I was up late watching the fight, on top of having gotten up at 3:45 yesterday, and then I stayed up till after the fight, and I just crashed. Did y'all watch the fight? Let me know in the chat. Did y'all see the fights? Did y'all see the Serrano fight? Did you see how her opponent kept headbutting her until she created this big gash, right under her eyebrow? And then finally they took a point away from her, but she just kept headbutting. And they said that her manager came out and said that this opponent does it all the time. She'd done it to Serrano before, and they just talked about that she was a dirty fighter. I don't know. I don't follow her, but what I appreciated that Serrano said, they asked her a question, and I don't remember the specific question, but it was something to the effect of, was the cut causing a problem? And, how did you feel the first time you got cut, or something like that? And she said, look, I'm a Boricua. I'll die in that ring. And I was like, I understood that. That like went right into my solar plexus when she said that. I'm a Boricua. I'll die in that ring. See, she's committed to winning. And then it just brought me around to us and some of the entrepreneurs that I talk to. We're not willing to die for most of anything. And for most of us, the thought of dying is not even, we're so scary. But obviously nobody wants to die. But the other piece that we do all the time is we're so afraid of something hurting us. I ain't doing that. Shoot, I might die, or I might get sick. It's like, what is the world if you can't take any chances? And what kind of goals do you set for yourself if they're not those that make you drive so hard that you're willing to die over it? Most of us are so scary. We won't do anything because we think we just are constantly in our mind worrying about what something is going to do to us. And some of us are so dark and dismal. Have you ever had this happen to you where you talk to somebody? Let's say you talk to a friend, maybe y'all catch up and go out, or you talk to them on the phone. Could be a relative, who knows? But they're like going down like an inventory list of your life, and you could tell that they're waiting on the negative. Have y'all ever had that happen? This is how messed up and scary some people are, where they're like, how's work? And then you're like, oh my God, work is amazing. I just got a promotion. They're going to let me be an independent contractor. I get to hire my own people, and I've doubled my income. And I am so excited. I'm happier than I've ever been. Then they go, well, how's your marriage? Oh my God, my husband is so amazing. He just gave me this beautiful new diamond ring. He decided that since I've been busy with the new job that, he was going to do something special for me every week, so, and they just keep going, right? And you're just on cloud 19 because you're telling them all the good stuff. And then finally they say, how's your kids? How's your children? Like, give you that smirk because they waiting on something negative, waiting on it. And they can't wait for you to talk about something that you're on the edge about so that they can chime in and say something negative. They can chime in, girl, you got to be careful with that because I knew somebody who had a heart attack doing that. I knew somebody who bust their lip doing that. I knew somebody who got sick doing that. you only get sick because of the conditions in your mind. Ain't nobody finna make you sick. Just going squarely hard over a goal is not going to make you sick. But some of us take a rule and we apply it and we expect everybody to abide by it. So when Serrano said, I'm a Boricua, I will die in that ring, I connected with that because I'm the kind of person that God blesses me with really big goals and really big opportunities to move deeper into my divinity and my godhood. And so it's got to be something where I'll leave it all on the field, the guts, the blood, I'll leave it out there. It's got to be something, because when I leave it all out there, win, lose or draw, I'm elevated to that next level. Win, lose or draw. But you're always going to have to be dealing with those naysayers. And when you're in a position like that, keep people in your corner, like that sister had in her corner last night, who are going to support you and give you those positive words of affirmation. And in fact about it, give you ideas that maybe you hadn't thought about and push you to that outer realm out there where it's beyond your intellectual capacity. And then did y'all see Iron Mike? Mike was so powerful to me last night. I could see him working out his divinity and his godhood. I could see him in his mind. It was such a powerful observation. Even though he lost, it was a very powerful observation, because even the fact that he didn't even have a big giant intro, he just walked out there. He wasn't wearing like a fancy robe or fur coat. He just walked out there and you could just see his mind churning. And even though his legs probably disappointed him and, he still put up some good defense, you could see. And I was thinking this before he said it. And then this morning, I think my mom sent me a text. I was thinking this when he said, I didn't need to prove nothing to nobody but myself. And I've been there too, because what happens is some people you get surrounded by so much doubt. And even though people may support you, they got a little sliver of doubt. When you start adding those slivers up, they become big enough to impact you. So you got to get to the point where you're like, look, it's just me and you, Allah. And I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody but myself, because I already know who you are. I already know your sovereignty. I already know how much you love me. And see, when you put yourself in that kind of position where you have to learn to tune out, this is what we're talking about this morning, tune out the negativity. Like, what do you do and what do you say to yourself? Okay? When you really want to go off, when you really want to snap, when you really want to just go home and lay down, when you really want to start concocting, or sometimes you do, a deceptive intelligence reason for not doing what you need to do. Whenever you feel that, what do you do? What's the conversation that you have with yourself? Because what happens for many of us, the thought gets in our head and then we start moving towards it. It's a programming. So you could see Mike working through programming. Literally, the energy, I could see the programming. I could see him navigating through and outside of a matrix so that he could get in here for this fight. And the guy, Jake Paul, was smart enough to just stay away from him, because probably had Mike caught him with one of those jabs, he would have been in trouble. I mean, Mike looked good. He looked, he didn't look 58. He looked younger than 58, because you got 40-year-olds that can't stay in there 20 minutes for 2 minutes per round. So, and he was in great shape. I could have did without the butt shot that they kept showing, but he was in great shape, and I was so happy and proud of him. But I was fascinated at watching him work through his mind. And as they were showing the highlights of him training, and it's like I was blessed to be able to see his mind and see what he was doing and who was the apple of his eye in this situation. I'm sure the payday didn't hurt none, right? So let's talk about that. Um, if you have or if you come to me, or if you have another coach or counselor that helps you with emotional intelligence and performs traditional emotional intelligence techniques, you may be familiar with this technique of adjusting your vibration. Okay? Because a lot of times our go-to vibration, our consistency is what supports our programming. Okay? And so oftentimes when you see people who don't have the ability to be like those fighters last night and go all out for anything, they're afraid of everything. They're afraid to help somebody. They're afraid to be concerned about somebody. They're afraid to love somebody. They're afraid to connect with somebody. They're afraid to kick it with somebody. They're afraid to commit to a business, a marriage, a relationship, because the trust issues are there. And then at the end of the day, they think it's going to hurt them. I'm not getting ready to have this or that. I'm not getting ready to be sick over that. Or I'm not about to lose my job. Or I'm not about to die worrying about this or that. But here's the deal. Somebody got to think about it. Somebody got to be committed to it. Whatever the cause is, somebody does. That's why I always put in my brain, and I program this into my mind because of how I support and give, that my success will benefit a particular cause. It will uplift people. I feel like my success is good for the universe. Now, some people will say, well, God don't care whether you're successful or not. That may or may not be true, but I know God cares about me. I know that God loves me beyond measure, and I know that God, Allah, has never forsaken me, and he never will. I know he cares about me more than I care about myself, more than anybody cares about me, because he's in here. That I know. And I know that if I'm serving him, that my success benefits the whole of humanity, because I'm helping him to make himself known. And when you see situations where you watch, and boxing is good with this, you watch somebody going through the library of programs in their mind so that they can make it with a cut face, make it knowing that their legs aren't what they used to be, and they're now 58 years old, and while they're better than likely more 58-year-olders, they may not be able to bounce around the ring and beat a 27-year-old. So my point being is, these tools and these techniques and these things that you use to navigate yourself around naysayers who sometimes are not people who are envious or people who are jealous. They're just scary people who haven't really pushed to do anything major in their life. They've never done anything unique in their life. And so it's very difficult for them to fathom the level of sacrifice and the level of mental conditioning required to be able to do that unique thing that nobody else has done. And they're accomplished, and a lot of people, their accomplishments are things that other people have done. Nothing wrong with that. They've graduated from college. They did a good job in their employment status, or they do good as a manager, or those kind of things. And I'm not saying that those are basic, and I'm not saying that those are easy. It's all relative depending upon your mental conditioning, because we're all experiencing the earth in a different way, different versions of the earth. But what I'm talking about is when you're called to do something that is so massively unique, something that's never been done in generations. And I've had a couple of those types of callings on my life. You got to be mindful and lean a lot on your mental programming, because the people around you may love you to death, but that fear that's in them, that's woven into their everyday life and into their everyday actions, can impact you, especially if you got several people like that you commune with, right, on a daily or weekly level, because those slivers of fear add up. And as those people are trying to influence you, especially when they love you, they're trying to influence you to chill, because they don't want nothing to happen to you, because really they don't want to experience the emotion of something happening to you. Did y'all hear that? A lot of times a person doesn't necessarily care whether something happens to you or not. They just don't want to experience the emotion of something happening to you. I'll give you an example. This is a kind of silly example, but it'll get you there. There was a lady crossing the street, and she looked like maybe she was without a home. She looked like maybe she was on drugs, because she had that heroin lean. And she literally just walked out in front of the street. And when I got to the light, luckily the light changed. Otherwise, we would have probably ran her over. And she made eye contact with me, and I rolled down the window and I said, "Sister, get out the street, please. Please." I said, because I don't want to see you get flattened by these cars who don't give a damn about your existence. And that was a very selfish statement, because I meant that. I wasn't even thinking about her. I was thinking about, I don't want to see it. And I ain't got time to be obligated to pull over and help you when they flatten you like a pancake. So get off the sidewalk. Some people in our lives feel like that about us. Like, could you get somewhere and sit down, because they don't want to go through the vicissitudes of what you're trying to do with you. So your mental programming becomes very, very, very important. Let me see what y'all talking about in the chat before I give you the technique. We're going to practice it. So today we're talking about how to change your vibration when something threatens your high vibes. Good morning and wa alaikum salam, Brother Lamont. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back. We haven't seen you. Happy Saturday, Mom. Wa alaikum salam, Brother Robert 11X. Brother Lamont said that sound good. Okay, saw all the fights before, but I was out by the time Mike was on. Oh, man. Okay, so you missed them. Wa alaikum salam, Sister Alita. Wa alaikum salam, Sister Alicia. All right. Here we go. Here's a technique. I started studying emotional intelligence after the study guide, Rising Above Emotions into the Thinking of God, came out. And there was something about that study guide that got me past a lifelong challenge. I've always been a very sensitive person. From as long as I can remember the presence of myself, I remember being extremely sensitive. And when I say sensitive, like to the point where I could just cry off of a color, if I wanted to, or I could, I can respond, or I do sometimes feel and respond to what I'm seeing around me, or even in other people. Like a lot of times, I had to learn not to go back and forth and even argue with people, because something will come before me and God will just give it to me. It'll be really loud and very clear. And then I would say it, and then somebody will be like, no. But I learned, and it's something that I learned when I was in corporate America, because I was in a position, 2 different positions at the time when I started paying attention to this. The first lesson was selling real estate. Some of you all know that story. And I remember having friends who grew up in Chicago, grew up on the West Side. They knew everything about the streets and what was going on, and they could navigate it. And if you knew anything about the 90s in Chicago, it was bad here. And so we had to, be mindful. For the most part, I missed most of the 90s and the early 2000s because, I was working deep inside of the nation and with a post there. But at the beginning, when I started selling real estate and stuff, I had to learn how to navigate. And I remember saying to Allah, I said, Allah, I'll never have the experiences that these people have had. I grew up in Nebraska. I love it here. You got me here. You've magnetized me to this space, to this city. I am a Chicagoan now. And what I need is for you to help me to strongly understand my intuition, understand my solar plexus and the signals in my body as it relates to different people, places, and things. And then as soon as I said the prayer, I said, I've always been extremely sensitive. I know how to do this. It's time for me to be conscious about being sensitive as opposed to running away from being sensitive because I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt, afraid I can't trust somebody, afraid of this, afraid of that. No, you got to embrace that because that's what's going to help you. And then years later, when I was in the corporate world, I started being around, it was a good old boys network in the consulting world. And I'd get these big clients. There'd be some big manufacturing plant, some gas plant, some highway project. And I'm the only somebody that looked like this and likely somebody, usually the only woman. And I would feel a little intimidation because I felt like they had access to information that I didn't have. And then I said the same prayer, but in a little bit different way. I said, God, I've come to understand the importance of my sensitivity. How do I use it here? And it's like immediately God put in my head. That's why you can see things that they can't see. You get the answer. I give you the answer. So I started practicing little things of, sometimes they give you a cubicle or a conference room to sit in. And we were working on a big problem. I would go to my cube and sit there and let Allah download the answer to the problem in me. And then what I learned is that I also had to learn the sensitivity of whether or not the person on the receiving end was ready to receive the answer. Because sometimes it might be a stark truth that they're not willing to deal with. Sometimes it may require more work. Sometimes they don't want the answer. They just want to make a statement. They just want to be confused. So I had to learn that level of discernment, like, do you say it or do you not? And so what I learned in the application of this in the corporate world was to go and kind of prove out my answer. So I already knew what the answer was, and I was able to work backwards. So I was able to work faster and be smarter and more effective than these other consultants that had the benefit of their collective to give them answers, whereas I was kind of like a lone wolf. So I started studying deep into emotional intelligence. And what I learned is that here's a good technique. Let's say you are facing something negative, okay? And you got to make a decision. You got to say, look, either I'm going to take this job downtown or I'm going to work this business. What you want to do is start to come up with, and you can do this on a piece of paper until you get fast enough to do it in your mind. Come up with all the different scenarios of what can happen. So what I really want to do is, you may be saying, instead of taking this job downtown, I really, 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 really want to work my business. What's the worst that can happen? And you got to go through all the options, even if they're painful, even if you're afraid of those things happening. Well, I could not make any money and I could lose everything. I could lose my house, my family, my cars. I could lose everything. I could just have moderate success to where I still really need to work and do the business, which would mean that I'm really super tired. Okay, what's the worst? I could get sick. I could, what else? I could become massively successful. I could become so successful and I could become so abundant where I'm earning and learning every single day so much that I wish I had done this 20 years ago. So what you're doing is you're taking yourselves through all these emotions, and I suggest you come up with 10 of them. And when you're going through them, if you feel a strong emotion, let's take that first one. If I don't take this job and I take this business and I end up losing everything, I lose my house, I'm gonna lose my husband, my wife, I'm gonna lose everything and I'm gonna be homeless. Sit there with that emotion. What does that feel like? And then you go to the next one. And once you experience the emotion of each scenario, it does something miraculous. It removes the fear. Because oftentimes we're not even advanced enough to place ourselves vibrationally in the space of what we're afraid of or what we really want. We're only vibrating as large as the emotion that we're afraid of. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense. So a lot of times it ain't that you can't even fathom being homeless and not having anything. So you're not really going there. That's coming out your mouth, but you're not vibrating there. What you're doing is you're just stopping right at the fear. You're stopping at the fear of, really, what are people going to say if I ain't successful? What's my cousin going to say? What's my mama going to say? What my friends going to say? You're stopping. That's what you're afraid of. You're afraid of the emotion. And the reason why I know that you ain't even thinking about that bad thing happening is just coming out of your mouth, which makes it dangerous, is programming, because you can't even take yourself vibrationally to what you want. So I know you can't go that far in your vibrational reach. It's just the fear. And once you come up with all of those scenarios and you can write them down and you walk yourself through them. Well, I could become really successful and somebody could buy me out. And you sit with that. It could take a couple of years to get the business off the ground, which would mean that I'd have to work a night job and do the business during the day. And then you sit with that. I could lose everything. It could be a waste of time and I blow through all the savings and all the investments and I can't pay people back and they sue me and I'm in trouble. And you sit with that. And you keep walking. This is when you're working through something big. You keep walking through that. And now the emotion doesn't scare you. And you can feel as you're walking through that what's viable and what's not. I'm talking about walking through it. Don't get stuck on the analysis and all of that. And then you'll catch yourself if you're obsessed with trust issues or obsessed with being safe, or if you're too much of a risk taker. And then now, once you walk yourself, and it's best to have somebody help you walk through this. Once you walk through those scenarios, what you do is you then put your goal together. What is it that I really, really want? And it's something about having touched the emotions of all those scenarios that makes that vision even clearer. It's clearer and you can probably write it down better, but you can also experience it. Because remember, our goal is we want to vibrate in alignment with what it is that we want. So if we want 20 customers this week, if we want to close a deal this week, you want to vibrate as if the deal has already closed. You want to vibrate as if you've already signed those 20 customers. You don't want to just keep thinking about signing 20 customers. You see the difference? That's why I'm walking you through that exercise when I'm coaching you, because what'll happen is you'll be making the phone calls and having your meetings and getting ready to go sign the contract. And what you're going to keep doing is, I got to get 20 this week. I got to get 20 this week. I got to get 20 this week. I can't do nothing else. Got to get 20 this week. Leave me alone. Move around. Look, go, go, go. I got to get 20 this week. You think that you're being effective by doing that, but you're not, because you're not addressing what is stopping you from getting to that 20. Okay? What's stopping you from getting to that 20 is some stuff in here in between. So that's why you can't vibrate with it. You can't feel what it feels like in your body to have those 20 customers or to sign that contract this week. You can't feel what your facial muscles are going to be doing when you sign that. You can't feel what your hands are going to feel like when you meet those customers. And because you can't get there, there's something in between. There's something blocking you. And when you take yourself through that emotional intelligence exercise that I just gave you, you're going to remove the experience of those emotions that's probably what's blocking you. So now, before you start your week, you could go through that exercise, and then you can sit down and say, okay, my goal this week is to sign this contract, or at least one contract, or 20 customers, or whatever your goal is. And sit there and allow yourself to feel what it feels like to have those 20 new customers, to sign that contract, to meet that sales goal. Allow your body to experience it and feel it. And now you start walking yourself visually through the process of it. See yourself emailing them. See yourself emailing them saying, hey, thank you, welcome aboard. I look forward to being of service to you, whatever it is. See yourself. See people congratulating you. I have this fun thing where I start seeing certain people that mean something to me congratulating me. It's just a fun way of getting myself there, right? Sometimes I'll see, I might be working on something that puts me in the mind of Harriet Tubman, and I'll feel her and feel her energy. And then when I visualize myself completing the task, I'll see her and I'll visualize, how would she congratulate me? Would she hug me? Would she shake my hand? Would she just give me a nod? Would she say something to somebody? And so I'm having fun with that because I'm in that vibrational space of the thing that I want. So as I'm navigating through life and somebody threatens to take me off of my high vibration, I've already practiced the vibration of what it is that I want. So the minute that person is being negative, the minute that they're taking inventory and go, well, how's this and how's that? And they're doing all of that. The minute they start doing that, I'm already on the other side. I'm already experiencing what it's like to win. I'm already seeing Harriet Tubman or whoever in my mind thanking me. Whatever I got to do to get myself to where I get to that other side, I got to hurdle over all of those slivers of doubt and negativity. And it doesn't matter if the doubt or negativity comes from somebody who hates you or loves you. Let me say that again. It doesn't matter if the doubt, fear, and negativity comes from somebody who hates you or loves you. It's still the same vibration. So you got to know how to navigate through that. And the best way to do it is especially if you got people who love you, but they've never done anything like what you're doing before, and their insecurities are creeping up. You got to be able to go immediately to that vibrational space and take yourself there. And believe it or not, when you're able to get yourself to the other side emotionally, and I can help you do that if in a session, If you're able to get yourself there, 9 times out of 10, you're going to exceed beyond the goal that you set. Why? Because the goal that you set was based upon your intellectual capacity. But when you start using these type of emotionalization and visualization techniques to manifest, you're pulling on the mammary gland of the universe, as the minister says, and you're going beyond your intellectual capacity. Y'all get that? Let me know in the chat what you think. I see some more of y'all have jumped in here. Who's here? Servant Nasir, walaikum salam. Robert Grip Muhammad is also here. St. Louis in the building. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Robert Grip Muhammad. Carolyn Bailey, hello from Georgia. Hello, Carolyn Bailey. Welcome. So thank you, everybody. Let me know in the chat. We got a couple minutes if you have any questions about that technique. If it made sense, if you need some clarity on anything. In the meanwhile, let me just let y'all know what I got going on. It's, y'all know, this whole thing, Black Friday is coming up, and it really need to be Black Friday because y'all need to be buying from us. Use this QR code right here and get you some stuff to support the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. We cranking away. I have a close deadline that came out of my mouth the other day. I felt like the minister with the Million Man March. Like, did I say that? Try to see if I could pull it back. But a close date. And you know, we want your support. And a lot of you all are buying holiday gifts. You're buying Kwanzaa gifts. You're buying Savior's Day gifts. You're buying gifts. Go out there on the site and give a gift that matters. I always say that. Give a gift that matters. Give somebody something that is going to matter to them, that's going to matter to the community. I'm one of these holistic type of persons. I want to give something that matters. And so I hope you'll give something that matters. Go to the QR code here and pick out something. Got some good stuff. I got the oud oils, and you know, agarwood is a very spiritual wood. It has all kind of healing properties. And I have a video out here that talks about the healing properties of agarwood, the tuning in properties of agarwood, the vibrational properties of agarwood, all of that. Sister Aurelia is in the building. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am. She says, Grand Rising from the land of enchantment, aka New Mexico. All right. But the oud oils, you can either burn them in your diffuser. I have a little steam diffuser that I drop a few drops in. You just put a small little drop behind the ear and on your wrist. The oil will change to match to respond to your pheromones. It's a very, very spiritual oil. Before getting to me, lots of prayer, lots of intention behind the creation of it. And then also, though, the agarwood itself. And if you know anything about woods, which I've learned since restoring the messenger's home, woods have different spiritual qualities because where the wood is sourced, the type of wood, depending on how the molecules in the wood meet together. Some of it's good for intuition. Some of it's good for tuning in. Some of it's good for cleansing. We have different types of woods for things, and agarwood is a very spiritual wood. It's the same wood as that they use, or that the tree of life is made out of. So it's a very life-giving, and the oil is made from that as well. It's got a little amber in it, which is also a very spiritually significant oil. So there's that. And some people say, well, I don't wear fragrances, just drop a dot of it in your diffuser and let it just, especially, before your prayer and meditation. Now you go to Middle East and they bring you that that incense that's supposed to raise your vibration, and it all goes around and you fan it towards you. It's kind of like that. But it's very divine, very, very divine. And it generally should be costing a lot more. But y'all know me, I try to make things attainable and accessible for us, especially for those of us who have not yet vibrationally matched finances at a certain level. I'm not saying you don't have money. I ain't saying you broke. You just are not at the vibrational level where you can match or create the amount of flow that is needed for certain things. And that's how you should look at it when you're trying to take care of something. Let's say you need $100,000 for something, then you got to figure out, how do you become a vibrational match to $100,000? How do you become a vibration? Some of us aren't even a vibrational match to $150. And that's no slight, but that means that we got to work on some stuff. There may be too much fear there. There may be too much apprehension there. There's something too much doubt, but there's something there that's driving down your vibration. What do I mean by driving down your vibration? Because you and I are all made in the image and likeness of Almighty God Allah. And that is a very high creative vibration. As we navigate through life and have those experiences, those things that happen to us, especially traumas that stay with us for a long period of time, drive down the vibration and put us in a position where we're functioning lower than what we should be. So lower than the vibration of Almighty God Allah, which is a creative love vibration. So we have that. Then we got the crystal. I had mine on yesterday. The crystal Elijah coin sweatshirts that are so cute. I have some other ones that I'm working on, but I want y'all to get these because they're just really classy. They're nice. They're white and crisp. They got silver, white, and black crystals on them. You could get that at the QR code. Of course, the commemorative Elijah coin. I'm telling y'all, you're going to wish you had this coin if you don't have it already. So get that, for a friend. We got some cell phone cases, whatever kind of cell phone you got. We got some commemorative Elijah coin cases. Just some fun stuff out there, some shopping bags. And I'm just working on a few things, but sell me out this holiday season, and then we'll launch the new stuff for the beginning of 2025. All right, family. Sister Aurelia says the native tribes healers of New Mexico use the agarwood for multiple purposes. That's right. And that is the base oil of the Sajdah oud oil that you can get right here at the QR code. She says, sister is correct. It is important on where the agarwood oud is sourced. Yes, that's what took me so long, because I was not able to determine in a lot of cases where the agarwood was sourced. So there were a lot of Asian manufacturers that were like, oh, yeah, it came from so-and-so, but you have no way. I had no way of really knowing that, because I wanted to make sure that once I got with my perfume designer and we started putting it together, that I wanted to also source a perfume designer that had the right vibration and energy as well. And then I came with mine with my spiritual intention. And between the source of the wood and the designer and myself, we created what I believe is a lovely, lovely high vibrational scent. And so I only did one. We actually tried to do a second one after we did this one, and it just wasn't vibrating. We even had the metronome with some tones of music that were playing over as the oil was being mixed. So it's got a lot of good intentions in it, right? All right, family. So I will see you all, inshallah, next week. How many of you all are going to the Resurgence Conference in New York? If you are, inshallah, I will see you there. It is next, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I don't know what day I'm speaking, but I will let you know. We'll go live from there. But I'm going to try to set up a few more lives. We're going to do a few extra coffee talks this week if y'all down for it. Let me know in the chat. Give me a thumbs up if you're down for a few extra coffee talks. I got a lot inside of me, and I haven't been talking to you all as much. So we're going to we'll try to do a few extra ones this week. Okay, family, use that QR code. If you are not vibrationally a match to anything on the code, I hope that you would vibrationally match to support the channel because you're here and inshallah, you're getting something out of it. Thank you for the thumbs up. Go to Cash App, Sajdah Enterprises. If you just want to support, make a donation. We greatly appreciate that as well. I want to see y'all rocking the stuff and wearing the oud oils. But if you don't like the sweatshirts and you don't want to wear the ouds and you already got a coin, then you can Cash App Sajdah Enterprises. Okay, I got some good stuff or more good announcements to make. I cannot wait till you all see. Thank you, Brother Robert Levinex. Support the YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Tell a friend. I have thousands of hours of content out here. And this is all I've been doing is making content. So I have a beautiful library of content. And I'm just grateful that you all have decided to support me. Okay, family, I'm going to go. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Today is Saturday. Time to start getting ready for y'all's holiday stuff. Get your gifts. Be safe. But most importantly, love on somebody this holiday season. Love on somebody, period. Find somebody today and just be nice to them, right? Share some love. Whatever it is that you saying you want, love somebody else and don't look for nothing else in exchange for it. Don't be selfish. Just do what you do. All right, family. Peace and blessings. Let me see. I think I missed a couple comments. Did I? Oh, Sister Alicia says, we appreciate you. Thank you, sis. Are y'all, real quick, make sure you follow me on Instagram, especially the Sajdah House page. There's a lot of construction updates out there. Just go to @Sajdah House, SAJDAHHOUSE, and follow, okay, and share. But make sure you follow because we've been making announcements and stuff there. But there's some good construction photos. You'll get to see some good stuff. I took some pictures yesterday and I haven't put anything together with them, but you got to check it out. You got to check it out. And of course, you can follow me, Sajdah Wendy Muhammad, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, but like and subscribe right here on the YouTube channel. Okay. Thank you very much, Brother Robert, for that reminder. And thank you, Sister Alicia. All right, family. Assalamu alaikum. And I will see you all maybe Monday or Tuesday. Give me a day or two to figure it out. And I'll post out here. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification button. That way you'll know when I'm going live, whether here, just our regular coffee talks or even in New York. All right. Peace and blessings, family. Love you all.